And we are live, I hope. Hi, everyone. I'm Simon at Wandering DM. Welcome to this a bit chaotic. I dropped sauce on myself. That's awesome.
Great job.
Yep. So, a bit chaotic first episode of Mist Vale. No, not Mist Vale. Woo! Of Age of Arcana Wildelands. I just worked for the past, I don't know, 20 some odd hours. 12 odd hours. My brain is not working, you guys. Um, so, anyway, hi everyone. Welcome. This might be a bit shaky. Let's just go around before we start, before we get into a bit of the rules, background information on this game, and everything. I would like for my players to introduce themselves, and to introduce you guys to the characters that they're going to play. So if you can just name who you are, and then who you're playing, and like I don't know, a thing or two about your character that would be interesting for everybody else to know about. So I'll start with um, the person on my left. So Emily, why don't you go first?
Okay, hi, I'm Emily. I am playing Gwen, the Medusa Bard. She has a mule named Henry, who is her trusty steed, and she has taught her hare, which they are all named Jimmy, how to whistle.
Cool.
Um,
And then Gerp.
My name is Quentin, and I will be playing Gerp, the Kobold Barbarian. An interesting thing about Gerp is he is leaving behind his family life and going adventuring.
Cool. And then how about I called you Gerp Quentin. I'm sorry. And then how about Matt?
yeah, so my name is Matthew. I'm going to play a character named Danzi, and he's going to be a Jamila, Animensu Guardian. And I'm pretty much at the tavern looking for a job and do a living.
Cool. And last but not least, Jan. You're
He's muted.
muted.
Working?
Now it is.
Okay. Hi, my name is Jan. I'm going to be playing a dwarf technomancer who's named Gregor. What's particular about Gregor? Well, he gathers scraps everywhere. And his favorite pastime is modifying his firecaster, trying all sorts of experiments on goblins, explosions.
Well, looks like Gerp's gonna have a friend. Ah. That being said, just so everybody knows a bit who everybody is, because right now I think aside from dwarf, none of the other races make much sense in D&D. Mind you, Cobalt and Medusa might ring some bells. So everybody knows what a Cobalt is in in this world. Kobolds are a failed experiment by a saurian, basically a lizard folk scientist who sought to create life, and he ended up creating the Cobalt race. Medusas are what we know of Medusas: snakes for hair, turn people to stone. They were created by a curse a long time ago, handed down by the witch queen Mara, who mysteriously disappeared after birthing this whole like generation of Medusas and disappearing from the world. The Jamilas are a bit fancier. They come from a place called the Dreamlands, which is a demi-plane, if you will, that is connected to Deus, the world that we're playing on. And Jamila were people that were escaping an other world, Mir, a long time ago, when that world was destroyed by the gods in their incessant warring. Most of the humans and saurians and Medusas managed to cross across the plains to go on Deus. Unfortunately, when the gates were closed, it left a bunch of the refugees behind, who ended up becoming the ever reincarnated Jamila, who live multiple lives and they are stuck in an endless cycle of reincarnation, basically. And while dwarves are dwarves, except that in Age of Arcana, they live above ground and not underground, and they're more like what I call city dwarves. They're more technology oriented, magic oriented. They're the ones that actually taught humans how to use magic. Whew. Mind you, there aren't any humans in this group anyway. Animancers is a special class that was made for Age of Arcana, which is basically a class that specializes in dealing with spirit creatures. We'll see how that goes over the course of the game. And Technomancers is a breed of wizard, kind of akin to the Artificer from Eberron, but cooler. And not, since magic isn't as doesn't really responds the same way as it does in Eberron. The Technomancers are more like the pioneers of mixing magic and technology together, and trying to break the known laws of magic, basically. And the game takes place in, you've guessed it, a land called the Wildlands. Looks a bit similar to what you can see on the stream. The Wildlands were once settled by the people of the Vel Empire, about 300 years ago or so. And when the Empire crumbled and left behind these people, they tried to live as much as they could. Mind you, the land itself seems to be adverse to being tamed. And over the years, settlements started disappearing. Either because they had to be abandoned, either because the inhabitants were killed, eaten, whatever you want, by the local wildlife, or driven away by the hordes of goblinoids that have made made the north of the Wildlands their home, and they're always creeping further and further south. The Wildlands are almost inaccessible by most of the kingdoms and countries of the world because of its mountain passes, the mountain ranges around it. And once the heavy snows of winter have melted, the passes to the Wildlands open, which leaves a short window of time for people, would-be settlers, explorers, adventurers, treasure seekers, to go in and explore. And this is what all four of you have done. There's many, many more people than that right now, this early morning at a tavern called the Starving Bull, which is one of the only 3 establishments that make up this tiny trading post that is in the middle of nowhere, right beyond the mountain range. You folks arrived anytime you decide to arrive within the past week, maybe a month. Let's say for the purposes of, food and shelter and everything, you managed to pay for all of that stuff before. But as the game starts, now you're going to have to keep track of all that. The Starving Bull is owned and operated by a Minotaur, a bulky, one-eyed Minotaur called Max, or One-Eyed Max, as he likes to be called. We don't know much about Max, aside from the fact that he seems to be sort of an ex-soldier or something like that. He keeps a halberd pinned to the wall behind him, and has been seen fighting and being very capable at fighting drunken patrons and other would-be raiders or brigands that would attack the trading post. The only other person that works at this trading post and lives at this trading post as well is a trader by the name of Gisela. Not much is known about Gisela either. She mostly keeps to herself, keeps to business transactions only. She's a very down-to-earth person, and she lives in right above the general store, if you will, that is there. The only other building in the trading post right now is an old house with a stable that's fallen into disrepair that nobody has bothered repairing since Max lives in his inn in the Starving Bull, and Gisela lives in the trading post. They're hoping, basically, they're the only two that survived the last winter. They're hoping that the influx of new explorers and settlers will turn this, well, dying trading post into something a bit more efficient and a bit more recognizable. Near the entrance of the trading post is a job board where you guys have seen on our Discord a few of the ads or help requests that the inhabitants of the trading post, well, basically Max and Gisela for now, have posted over time. Aside from you, there's about a dozen other hopeful explorers with you, some of whom will meet tomorrow during the second expedition. But for now, we'll focus on all four of you. So as the sun rises on the trading post, the camera zooms in into the Starving Bull, and from within, sitting at various tables, are four individuals. Would you care to describe what you look like? What would a newcomer see when they come in the trading post? Whoever wants
I'll
to
go ahead and. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. So what they see. So right now, do we enter the bar, or are we the four that's I sit down?
You're already there if you want.
Okay. Well, my character kind of looked like he's a little bit buff on the muscular side. He only wore a t-shirt, an old t-shirt with the little strand at the top there, at the collar. And you can see on the patch of his skin, there's a bit of scale uh, around the skin a little bit. And since he's a Jamila, he's also wear a mask in front of him. It's a white mask, no detail on it. And I'm just sitting there with my shield and a hatchet on my belt.
Cool.
You see a kobold passed out in the corner. He isn't moving. He may be dead. It's hard to say. He doesn't have any clothes on. He has a small loincloth to cover a certain part of his body. Whether or not that even shows in a kobold, no one really knows, but he likes to wear it just in case. He has a shield and a battle axe and a small backpack that's kind of like set up next to him. But again, he's like back turned against everybody, and he's just kind of like curled up in the corner, not moving.
All right. We're early in the morning. You're already passed out. Nice.
So, so you see a dwarf all by himself taking a table with all kinds of scrap all scattered around with greasy fingers and manipulating a firecaster seems really dangerous, actually. And the rest of the table is covered with flags of ale. I know we're early in the morning, but he's a dwarf.
We're like 7 in the morning.
Eh.
Like 6 maybe. Now we're like it's dawn.
You see a young woman, maybe in like her early to mid 20s. This like her snakes are like covering up one eye, kind of like swoops over, hangs on this side of her shoulder, just wearing like normal clothes, like normal adventure clothes, just like a decent clean shirt, a pair of trousers, some boots, and like a belt. Doesn't like someone that besides the hair would look completely normal in this environment. And then just like reading like a piece of paper and like feeding her hair little bits of bread.
That's true. They gotta eat. As you're passing time, either passed out, drinking, repairing, eating, you notice that most of the patrons of the Starving Bull have arranged themselves in small groups of mostly wow, Words escape me. Um, unacquainted, unacquainted travelers, and they strike out in groups of 4, of 5, of 6, of 8. Some go out alone, and some of them, before they leave, as you can see, they tear out some of the scrolls on the job board, picking up certain tasks for themselves, apparently, and they head out into the wilds. It leaves about just you four with One-Eyed Max, who's behind his counter, playing a knife game with what's left of his left hand. And he looks up to you, and his gruff voice says, "So, y'all gonna just stay here?"
I roll over and I say, "Oh, what's going on?"
Everybody's leaving.
Who's left?
You lot. And me, well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving this inn untended.
I look around and I see the other people at. So everybody's at various tables then?
I figured, yeah.
I look around at the Medusa, the dwarf, and what was your character?
It's Jamila.
Gemila. Okay.
Yeah.
I look around and I say, "Well, do you guys want to go out?"
I kind of get up. I look at the couple and say, "Where do you want to go?"
And I say, "Well, I was thinking we could kill bandits. I saw it on the job board, and if they are bandits, they probably have food, and we could bring the food back as well."
Max.
Oh,
go ahead.
That's a good point. But maybe those bandits need those food. Maybe we can go after the forest guys, and might be a big boar, and that may be better food than actually food stolen from Steve.
Do you look like a hunter? Like, is there anything about you that would give me the impression that you are a good hunter? Or
No, absolutely not.
okay, I say, well, I'm not particularly a good hunter. I'm kind of better at killing. I look at everybody else.
You see, like, Gwen just shaking her head and trying very hard not to look at them. Just like, she's trying really hard not to laugh.
I'm really happy we have a Medusa here.
She just rolls her eyes.
Dwarf, do you have any opinions on what we should do today?
Well, there was a job about magic in the forest, but if we really gotta find food, well, killing the bandits might not be a bad idea. Because if we get food and it gets stolen by the bandits, let's just get it over with the bandits now. So they won't steal our food if we get some.
I look at a One-Eyed Max and I say, excuse me, bartender. How strapped are we for food in town?
Whoa. The reserves can last us a good... Let me check my notes.
He's got to look in the back.
Yeah, he looks in the ledger and he says, "Oh, we can probably hold out for another 2 weeks. 3 weeks tops if you people stop stuffing yourselves. After that, well, I'm kicking everybody out and I'm keeping the food for myself. I ain't gonna die for you lot."
I mean, that totally makes perfect sense.
Yep. I would go out, but soon as I take a step outside of my inn. It's a plan for someone to just steal it from right under my nose.
I stand up and brush some of the dirt off of me, and I walk over to the Medusa, and I extend a grubby, dirty hand, and I say, "My name is Gerp."
She just like puts her note down and just looks at it. She goes, "I'm not gonna touch your hand."
But it's so clean.
Sure it is. And she just like puts the note in her pocket and just goes, "I'm not gonna die. So let's go get food. If we gotta kill something, then we'll go kill something. I don't care. Just we need food."
Perfect. I stroll over towards the dwarf with all the scrap on the table. And I say, "My name's Gerp."
Okay, so I swipe my hand on my shirt. I extend my hand.
Mhm.
Oh, hi, my name is Gregor.
Gregor, what do you do with all the scrap on the table?
Oh, I'm modifying my Firecaster. I'm trying some little experiments with it.
So
Should not get too close.
I understand nothing of what you said.
It's okay.
Yeah, well, for the audience, just a quick aside, a firecaster is like a firearm, a sort of rifle, like a musket, but powered by magic. So Gerp might not know what it is, but it looks like a long, elongated piece of steel with various knobs and reservoirs for arcane liquid, all mounted on what looks to be like a large crossbow shaft, basically.
I I say, well, do you think we should start, guys, or?
Yeah, well, if we're gonna go kill bandit, I just want to warn you before we go there. I'm not really good with the sight of blood and dead body. Uh, I have some trouble in my past, and it's making it hard for me to kill some people.
Oh, okay. What, Max? If we bring back human bodies, does that count as food?
He does a spit take. No. Most of my clients are humans. Plus, believe you me, human flesh tastes like shit.
That's okay.
Bring me stuff that everybody can eat.
If we were to go find the bandits, which direction would we go?
Oh, that's a good one. You might try your hand. I'd say towards the hills, probably. I mean, it's where the only pass here is, and they've been very active, judging by how many nobody showed up. I'm thinking that the bandits probably got to them first. If anything, the hills make a very good defensible position. Aside from that, well, you can always follow the river, maybe to the east. They need to have a way to strike fast and retreat. They need to use something. That's my guess, anyway.
That sounds good. Guys, where are we going? East or west?
Well, you seem to know what you're doing. I'm going to follow you.
Oh.
I'd go west.
I look around suspiciously.
You see, just Gwen's just shaking her head, just like, why am I here? Why am I here?
I'd go west. Let's go west.
Go west.
Well, west does seem like a good idea.
Before any of you strike out, And before Max says anything, I want to know, out of game, do you guys have rations on yourselves? In your equipment?
I have an explorer's pack. I think that gives me 10.
Indeed, I think the explorer's pack is...
Yeah, I have 10 too.
Yeah, same for me.
So, Emily, I think you should have the same.
I'm double checking to see if my pack has any food.
She got the scholar's pack. She's screwed.
Oof.
I have a lot of packs.
Scholar's pack.
I have hang on. I have a diplomat's pack,
That's not good.
and that's it. That's the only pack I have.
All right, you got the diplomat.
Yeah,
let me
'cause
check.
the other one I didn't need it. It had things that I already had.
The diplomat pack doesn't have any. You have a chest. Holy shit! And a vial of perfume and soap.
Yeah.
You should trade that for some food.
So before you head out, Max takes a look at your chest or whatever bag you have in addition to that, Gwen, and says, "Hey, you're not thinking of heading out on an empty stomach, are you?"
I'm not stupid, so no.
"All right, I have rations to sell."
You want some soap?
Soap's icky.
1 ration for soap.
She's like handing
1
her
quarter
soap.
portion.
No, then she takes soap back and she's like, nah, I'm not a cheap ass. 1 for 1.
All right, 1 for 1.
And she gives him the soap.
And he goes in the back and comes back with, and you have to think, like, minotaurs are pretty big, and he's bringing like these tiny cheese cubes with like a handful of dried nuts and a few slices of like dried jerky, and he folds it in like a to-go bag. It looks nice. Gwen, you've been to cities, I believe, as a bard. Like, you've traveled a bit. The way he handles the food and even the packaging, like, this minotaur takes his job to heart. He's rather good at doing so as well. And he hands you a small sling bag with, it's more like a pouch, really, with the food in it. He's like, that ought to keep you alive for a day.
One day. Then she kind of just looks back and she goes, how much rations do you have?
Who are you looking back at?
All of you.
Well, I have 1 ration.
I don't know. I dump my pack out on the floor.
There's like a whole bunch of stuff that falls out.
You see multiple rations.
Mm-hmm.
I
There's
search
like
in
10
my
pounds of
bag.
food.
They may or may not be clean.
So I get scraps and everything everywhere, and I finally find my ration at the bottom. I have approximately 10.
All right, so I open up the chest that I have and I scramble into it to also get my ration out to show what I have.
Mm-hmm. How many do you have? 10?
I have 10, yeah.
10, okay.
Does everybody have a chest?
It depends on what packs you guys have. But some of you might actually have a chest, yeah. The Diplomat's pack has one. No, only the Diplomat. Everybody else has a backpack.
Well, I had out of character. I had the Vampire Hunter.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You have the Monster Hunter kit.
Yeah.
Yep, you have a chest. Sorry, I only have the player's handbook in front of me.
It's alright.
She just kind of like looks back at Max and goes, is that enough?
Well, if they don't mind sharing.
I can make them share. It's not that hard.
Hey, it's your funeral.
I'd like to look at Gregor and be like, she seems really nice.
Yeah.
Just promise me something, tiny man.
Huh?
You don't go and eat her once she's dead.
She's
Ah,
Actually,
she
you
just
don't go and
rolls
eat
her
anybody.
eyes.
but
Can't be too careful with kobolds. I'll tell you what.
is that just like here or anywhere?
Anywhere.
Ah.
I can smell it if you do.
I look sad.
No, she
Well-
just kind of like starts walking towards everybody, and she like points a finger and goes, "If you eat me when I die, you're gonna get poisoned. Don't even dare try." And she just keeps walking.
And I kind of whispered to Gert, "Yeah, you know, I'm pretty sure poison can be cooked out to buddy."
My eyebrows perk up. And I look sheepishly at One-Eyed Max as I stroll out the door.
Don't you dare. And as you guys pack your stuff and leave, we're gonna go ahead and talk about a like sort of mini rule I wanna try with you guys as you're exploring and everything. So you guys have rations, right? As you're leaving the post, Gisela will come by and give each of you 5, let's call them camping resources.
Okay.
Camping resources are consumed when you take a short rest. Rations are consumed when you take a long rest. If you don't have of either, you can take a rest, you just won't gain any benefit, and thus will suffer fatigue. Suffer too much fatigue, and you guys die of exhaustion in the middle of nowhere.
Nice.
So right now, and rations, of course, can be split. You can do a half ration and take a long rest nonetheless. But if you do that twice in a row, then you start getting fatigue anyway. So like you could extend your rations by doing, one half, one full, one half, one full. And that can let you, can enable you to survive longer. But camping resources, so the stuff you need to like take care of your equipment, to take a break, take a breather, whatever. I'll call them camping resources for now, but they're for short rests. So you got 5. You can always buy more at the trading hub. But I just want to see if like this sort of sub mechanic of resting works in the type of game that we're playing right now.
Mm-hmm. How does traveling work?
So, traveling, because this is what you guys are going to do the most. Even the viewers now can see the hex grid. I've posted it. I've managed to like capture it and put it up. So travel and exploration in Age of Arcana. I said. Okay. In your handouts, you all have something called travel and exploration, which is like a short memo sort of thing with like information about like how you can travel around. You can cross 1x per hour and a half, 5 hex a day basically. So you can travel through the map on a plane at a fast pace at 5 hexes a day. Normally it would be 4, and then a slow pace would be 2.5 a day. Now the thing is going fast through some territory will let you cross over, long distances faster, but you cannot explore what's in it. You're just trekking through and marching through and not paying attention to anything. It's a good way to be ambushed if you're in dangerous territory, and it's a good way to miss out on a lot of opportunities. Now, if you ever get, certain steeds can help you go fast and still retain your wits about you, or if you're, traveling downriver on a boat or something, you might be traveling fast, but you can still have, you still have time to look around and stuff like that. So the handout should let you know that each hex is 6 miles apart. And depending on the terrain, you can explore a hex in a day or more. And sometimes it takes more than a day to explore a single hex. As far as visibility, we're using the basic rules from D&D. I have them here. So I'll have you roll stuff. I'm going to check your passive perception, which is something I'm going to need to ask of you in a few seconds. And then, of course, well, if you're not going too fast, you can forage for food. You can scout ahead for danger. You can also explore. So exploring, basically, and it's a mechanic I took from Kingmaker, you basically spend the whole day just going around in circles and trying to see if there's anything interesting. So you will be much slower doing that, but it's one of the fastest way to find stuff, to come across interesting encounters. And there's also a rule on becoming lost, but that's for later, because right now, wherever you go, you're technically lost. You don't know where you're going. You just pick a direction and you walk. But later on, we'll talk about that, getting lost. If you're trying to travel not on a road from like one place to another, you might have to take detours. You might, some paths might be blocked. Paths that used to be open before, like for one group, the path could be open, and then for another one, I don't know, like snowfall, an avalanche in the mountains, and that blocked off a section of the pass, and then the other group can't go. I have to remind everyone that you're multiple players playing on the same map. Everything happens more or less concurrently. And that's why normally I didn't want players to play in like 2 consecutive games. We'll still do that, which means that the other group, so if I think Quentin and Matt, you're playing tomorrow morning as well?
Yeah.
If you are, then what'll happen is tomorrow morning will take place technically a few days later. So by the end of the game tonight, and that's what I'm going to do with every group, at the end of a session, the characters go back to the nearest settlement. Right now we only have one settlement. But if you were to found other settlement or discover other settlements, then you have these fast travel points that you can go to and then keep exploring, because the map is freaking huge. You guys. It's freaking huge. It's 4 maps of 40 hexes by 40 hexes. So 40 times 6 times 40 times 6 times 4. It's enormous. So let's have fun with it. If you look at the map on Roll20, there's a caravan, which represents your group. I think any one of you can move it. Can you just try real quick to see if you can move it?
I can move the caravan and the trading post.
Yeah. Oh, you can move the trading post?
Yeah.
That's not good.
I'll just move that wherever we go. We'll be fine, guys. One-eyed Max will love me.
Controlled by nobody. There you go. Something went wrong. It's fixed now. You shouldn't be able to play with it. And so you can move your caravan wherever, and I'll tell you if anything shows up or if you pick up anything on the way. I'll need 2 things from you guys before we go any further, and that is 1, your passive perception scores.
Sweet.
Let me just grab something to write. There we go. All right, so Gerp.
12.
Gwen.
11.
Damsier.
So perception is the 3.
So passive would be 10 plus your perception.
Super high.
Okay, 13.
And Gregor?
12.
All right, we tried, guys. Already dead.
You guys are lost. You die. Game over.
We're not gonna find anything. We're gonna get super lost, and the bandits are gonna ambush us.
So it depends because here's the deal. The faster you go, the more passive perception would be required of you to find stuff. The slower you go, the easier it is. Of course, the slower you go, the longer you're gonna have to stay out, and the more you're gonna run through your resources. So you decided to move to the southeast, or was it just because somebody was playing around with the caravan icon?
Yeah, I was playing around with it.
Yeah.
We decided to go west.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll move it. We'll have to move it hex by hex.
Which so how fast did we want to travel? Like outside of
First, yeah, that's a very good question.
And do we count that the caravan is actually on the trading post right now?
Yeah, sorry, the caravan is on the trading post.
I think a normal pace.
Yeah.
Right? We're
Yeah.
a pretty normal group.
Let's keep it normal for now. Let's see how it goes.
Okay. Who wants to move the caravan? Who's gonna lead?
We said we were going west, right? So
Yeah.
are we actually is it like actually northeast, southwest, or is the compass different?
No, the compass is the same. I put the map in order for so that the north points upwards, and south is downward, and west is
Okay.
left, and everything. The thing is the only rule for this game is you cannot go further west than what the map shows. Any more westward, and you're back into civilized lands. So there's no point in going back there. You all have a reason why you left. But you can go north, you can go south, you can go east, you can go west for a while. It is up to you.
I think that One-Eyed Max had a good idea that the bandits were like ambushing people on the way to the town,
Yes, and it must be on the road.
Yeah.
or close to it. Well, if we're on the road, then they'll just ambush us. We'll become part of their prey.
And I would assume that most travelers would probably follow the river, so maybe we should do that.
Mm-hmm. Look for clues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So we go
northwest?
to- Yeah, that'd be
Here.
since we're going to the river.
All right. And you guys are going at a fast pace, a slow pace, or a normal
Definitely
pace?
normal pace.
Normal place.
Normal pace. All right.
Henry's doing a great job.
So by around 9 o'clock in the morning, you guys have begun trekking onto the, let's call it a road, in quotes, that leads to the trading post. There's nothing, really. In the last 2 hours, you've been walking around. Everything's fine. There doesn't seem to be any danger ahead. The sky is blue. The clouds are parting. You guys can continue moving.
This place is extremely boring.
I like it like that.
Yeah, I think we've moved to HHH6 now.
Sure
Okay.
thing. Gerp, Damsir, and Gregor.
Yeah.
You notice as you're cresting a hill that there seems to be wreckage further down the road. Something that doesn't look quite like rocks or quite like trees. And it seems to be off the side of the road.
I'm gonna go off my personality trait here, and I sprint for it.
All right, it's about 1 mile away.
I run as fast as I can towards 1 mile away. But I'm not as
So-
fast as everyone else. I'm just like.
And just people can briskly walk by. Yeah, because you don't have your fast barbarian movement yet. Soon.
I still have 20, 25 movement.
Yeah.
So I look at
Soonish.
Gregor and Gwen, and I'm just asking, do we follow him with the caravan?
Well, you guys don't have
Uh,
a real caravan right
Oh,
now.
okay.
It's
Yeah,
just
You just
you
have a
walking.
mule.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're just
right.
You just have a mule.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I figured that the icon would probably get people confused, but like I didn't have like a cool icon of like a bunch of silhouettes or anything, and
It's
I thought,
still in production.
yeah.
Okay, so Gerp, you said that you dropped your purse, right?
Drop my purse.
Yeah, didn't I hear you correctly? Didn't you
Oh,
drop something?
I know. I scooped up my stuff at the bar.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yeah, I ran out. But yeah, I'm trying to sprint ahead if you guys want to keep up or
Yeah.
not.
What you
Uh,
notice is to the west along the path.
Jesus treasure!
Well, I'm going to follow Gerp.
Alright.
Just in case something happens.
Gerp takes off running.
I will jog with
Yeah.
with the couple.
I'm just gonna go at the pace of my mule. Nice and easy.
Are you riding it or walking it?
I'm just walking next to it.
So after about an hour and a half, you guys actually.
I thought it was closer than this, guys. I really did.
Stumble upon the site of what was probably an ambush. Along the road, near a river bend, is a broken caravan of goods. It used to be a covered wagon, much like the icon that you're using to move about on the map. The back wheels have been broken, as if they rolled over like pointy stones or were purposefully broken with a mace. It lies on its side. Most of the fabric has been torn. There are no signs of horses or of oxen or any beast of burden to pull the cart with. There are no signs of humans or sentients either.
Okay. So once we arrive at the site and I see all this carnage, I'm gonna try to investigate and try to guess how much time happened before we went there and before the fight happened.
Sure. While you do that, what do everybody else do?
I immediately jump into the wagon and start rummaging through anything.
All right. So an investigation check from Damsier, a perception check from Gerp. What are you doing, Gregor?
I'm trying to determine exactly how the caravan got destroyed.
Which skill would you use for that? Like, do you just
I
stand
don't
there and
know.
look at it? Do you try to
And that would be an investigation check.
investigation? All right, so you're going about and like digging through the remains of the
Mm.
caravan and everything. And Gwen,
I'm making sure that there is nobody around us.
oh, please roll perception too. 17, 22, 4.
I really don't think there's anything here.
And 19. All right. I'll start with Gwen. You do notice that, this spot next to a river bend, not too far out from the road, but in the road is made in such a way that it doesn't afford a lot of leeway if you were to try to get off of it, aside from falling into the river. And the other side of it is the beginning of a hill. And so it would be easy for people to just crest the hill, come down, attack, take stuff, and leave. However, as you're looking around, there doesn't seem to be anybody in the vicinity right now.
Just like I'm keeping an eye on the hills.
I'll come back to you after, actually. Gerp, there's just so much stuff left lying about in the wagon that you don't know what to make of it. So you're just frantically going from like one thing, like one broken beer bottle to like bent tools to whatever. And as you're rummaging through what is basically trash, Damsier comes up behind you with Gregor as they're like walking around, and they just point to stuff and they're like, "Oh, that's good. That's not. That's good. Okay, that's not. That's okay." And then they keep going, just trying to find out what. So like just in passing, they manage to identify a few of the things that are actually worth anything. And I'm gonna ask you to roll a d8, please.
Carry the team, boys. Carry the team.
Oh no, you Gerp roll a d8.
Oh no.
Yep, because they pointed a lot of things. I hope you were you paid attention. 1, 2, 3, 4. You find a broken arcane vial.
Yes.
So
All
these arcane vials are used by spellcasters to fuel their magic. They're very dangerous but very powerful. They essentially let you cast a spell without expending a spell slot. The trade-off is you might explode using it. Or you might, turn to stone. Or your hair might catch on fire.
And then there's nothing in it because it's broke.
Yeah, there's nothing in it that's broken. But that means that there must have been a spellcaster around. Because it doesn't seem like it was carried in a container or anything.
Guys, can anybody tell me about this useless bottle?
I take a look at the bottle.
It's an arcane vial. You're a technomancer.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, it means that maybe a spell was used to destroy the caravan. So I'll do a knowledge, I'll do an Arcana check.
Sure.
See what kind of spell could have done that.
Sure, and as you do that, Gwen,
Yes.
you do spot people.
Are
Not
they humans?
They are. 4 of them. Hidden in bushes. With like stones and dirt put over them, like an impromptu cairn or something. But like there's a foot sticking out, a hand sticking out of the other side.
You just like see like a small smirk just kind of like go on her face, and then she just kind of like does this to her hair, and her snakes start whistling very, very loudly.
Yeah, thanks. You do it better than me. All of you hear it.
I look over at the snake lady.
Yeah, same.
Her hair is singing.
Now she just like
What?
she's going like that to the bushes, just pointing at them.
If you're pointing at them, everybody can see it.
I would like to sprint over to the bushes.
Oh my god.
How far are they?
About 50 feet away.
Okay, so
Okay. Let me try something then.
Well, for a second, Gregor, I'll do the Gerp and Damsier first because you're still on your Arcana check looking at the scene.
Okay.
So Gerp, you ran, you sprinted out. Damsier, what are you doing?
well, I once I saw Gerb sprinting out, I'm just gonna try and follow him, and I'm gonna put my mental on him, just in
Okay.
case something happened.
All right. So as you're running, Gerp, and Damsier's running, what does your mental look like?
Yes, you told me that it was like an aura, right?
Yeah, an aura around you.
Hmm. It has some purple wave just wavy like a bubble around the.
Okay, like a purple bubble around you.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so he's encased in this purple bubble as he runs with Gerp. You guys happen upon the cairn, and there are feet and hands and like a tuft of hair coming out of it.
Can I see if they're dead?
Yeah.
Easily, as you just swat away some of the dirt and the mud and the grass, you notice that these are 4 individuals, 3 men and 1 woman, naked, all of them, no more clothes on, and all of their throats have been slit, but they do you notice like other wounds on them, like arrow wounds, crossbow wounds. One of them has like part of his skull caved in.
Well, Gerb, undig the body. Can I start to do an investigation around this spot to check if I don't see trace of the thief going somewhere?
Sure, as Gerp is digging through. Gerp, what do you do though? Like as part of your.
Yeah. As I go around and they're clearly dead and whatnot. I kind of somberly look at the ground. I was like, nothing to loot.
Well, I mean, unless you're into like teeth. I shouldn't have said that.
I check for teeth.
I should have said that.
They're gold teeth.
You find 10 teeth. Not gold, just teeth in general. In 4
10
people.
Good human teeth. Somebody's gonna want these. We're gonna find a witch or something. Show up these.
So you're playing dentist. During that time, Gregor, you managed to identify a potential spell that could have caused it. A spell called Earthen Grasp. Because the way the wheels were broken, they weren't broken in from the outside. They were broken in from the inside. So something rose up from the ground and probably held the wheels there. And the travelers, whoever they were, probably tried to make a run for it. And that's when it snapped the wheels and broke them.
Gregor, what is
Earthen Grasp?
What was his name?
Dancer, what happened?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay,
so...
You notice faint, very freaking faint tracks leaving the cairn and going south.
South. Okay, so in the mountain, right? In the hill?
Somewhere south. Believe me,
Yeah.
the hex that you see on the map, I mean,
Yeah,
each one
they're
is
big,
6
yeah.
miles.
Yeah, right. You're right.
But at least the people that did that seem to have gone south.
All right. So after I did my investigation to check where the track we're going, I'm just going to go back to where the other caravan that's broke down and just go and take some breath in, breath out after I saw the dead body.
All right. Yeah. To unwind.
Cool.
All right. Gwen.
Dancer, I know you're squeamish, but what happened?
I just want to pester him as he's trying to gain his stuff back. I'm just like, he's probably having a panic attack. He's like, okay, I got this.
Yeah. I'm trying to ignore Gerb as much as I can. Just trying to gain a composure myself.
You want a tooth?
As the shenanigans are happening, is there anything you want to do, Gwen?
Can I go over to the caravan and tell him to look for rations?
You can look for rations yourself if you want to as well.
But someone's got to watch Henry.
Sure.
So no, I'll just tell them to
She would want to get her fine dreads dirty, looking for stuff.
in my normal commoner's clothing.
Way better than what I got.
It's true. But yeah, she's just like, look around for rations since it looks like they're dead. They won't be needing them.
That's cold.
It's true.
I suppose.
That's true.
At least
taking
I'm
this
not
crap.
looking for teeth.
Hey, these are valuable, okay? Somebody will want these at some point, and I'll tell you all about it.
Just, I don't know. Sell them to Max. Maybe he'll give you a ration for it later.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, because nobody knows what's inside the special meal.
Yeah. Like,
Um,
don't make it a habit.
You can all take about a half hour to sort through the stuff that's in the wreckage, and you find, all in all, a blanket, 3 days worth of rations, one half of a map maker's kit, so like, a few pieces of parchment paper, a quill but no ink, a ruler that's not completely straight, and it's missing like a lot of the other stuff. There's a hammer, a crowbar, a sling bag, and a bottle of cheap liquor. The label on it says it's an Old Vale Black Swill. And it's still full. Here, let me...
I don't know about you guys, but I would really love the liquor.
Fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take the half of the map maker kit.
I'll
Make it
take the
good.
blanket because I don't even have a sleeping bag.
Well,
jeez.
Gwen, wouldn't you prefer the 3 days ration since you are?
No, I'll take the rations
I
too.
mean, yeah, we can give her two things, I suppose.
What?
I said we can give her two things, I suppose.
I
The
mean,
rations we get.
yeah. I figured that we're sharing anyway.
Yeah.
So it's all of our rations. I'll just hold on to it. For
Oh,
safekeeping.
if we're sharing, does anybody want any human teeth?
Do you want to put your human teeth in this tiny pouch?
Yes.
She hands him a tiny coin pouch. She goes, "Here you go. You can keep it, just for you."
I put my 10 human teeth in it.
You've got a pouch which I have a feeling that is only going to get fuller and fuller with teeth as the game goes on.
Everybody collects something.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's into something. That being said,
Anybody want the hammer or the crowbar?
We can just put it in the chest.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the crowbars come in handy. The hammer too, probably at some point. So
Yeah, we can
yeah,
just sell it
whoever
to
has room
Max.
for it.
Yeah, just throw it in the chest.
So, yeah, I think you can mark that in your character sheet, Gwen,
Yeah.
since you have a mule carrying all your stuff.
Yes. Henry is doing a good job.
Eventually, it'll even be possible to, well, I mean, eventually, after the second game at least, but you guys, while you're at the trading post, you can trade stuff between players on the Discord. So,
Cool.
like, if you want to give something to another player that wasn't there today, as you get to know the other characters, you guys aren't in, like, total competition with one another.
Oh no, yeah.
So while everyone is taking out the loot, since I ran to the caravan, I didn't explain to anyone what I found beside the body. So I started explaining to them the trace that I found that were leading south, and proposed to everyone if we go south instead of going west.
Sounds like a good idea.
And be careful, guys. They have a sorcerer with them.
Hmm.
That's what
Wow.
destroyed that caravan.
Should we put the bodies in the caravan?
I mean, we should probably just like rebury them, maybe.
That would take too long, though.
Oh,
We just put them in the caravan. It was theirs. It's good enough.
wait, we could probably just leave them where they're at, maybe.
That's just rude. They're naked. Why would you leave naked bodies out in the middle of nowhere? At
Because I'm
least if they're inside the caravan, then they'll be covered.
But I'm a kobold. I leave bodies everywhere.
Yeah, but you're in a party of other than kobolds now.
I look around and notice that I'm not in a party of kobolds.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna go with Gert and just say, you know, I prefer to leave the body there and, you know, start to have a little hiccup.
Or they already half buried. Let's just finish the job.
I mean, do we have a shovel?
I have my claws.
I do.
Okay.
Oh,
then
you
that's
have
fine.
a shovel.
Yeah, I'm an archaeologist.
That's true. That is
Mm.
true.
I admire the shovel, but I still attempt to dig with my claws.
Well, I mean, you help.
Yeah.
It takes about an hour. To just, you know, bury them properly, not like leave them in the mess that they were in.
I find like a couple of sticks, make it like a very crude cross.
Sure, though the cross doesn't mean anything in this instance, unless you're like just marking where people were buried.
Yeah, I put an X. I lay the sticks across the ground.
That works too.
Can I have your cheap liquor for like 5 seconds? I won't do anything bad, I swear.
I hesitantly hand her the cheap liquor.
She just like unscrews it and does like 3 like really quick like pours, but like very tiny pours, and then
I look at
closes
her.
it, and then
I-
gives it back to him.
I want to lick the liquor on the ground.
If you lick the liquor on the ground, you're being disrespectful.
Oh, let's do it on the ground.
You gotta pour one out for the fallen.
What?
Yeah, gotta respect the fallen.
Yeah,
You gotta pour one in for the living.
then pour one in for the living. Drink some. Just don't drink it off the ground.
I look at her with a small glare and I take a small drink of it.
All right, you guys can mark that off as being one. So there's like 20 doses in it. That's one of them gone.
Oh, I've never been so sad.
Well, I mean, it's one split in like 4, but yeah.
All right, so we're heading west now. We're not west, south. Sorry,
south,
we're heading south. So that would
Yeah.
be
So,
So-
I 5.
So I mean, outside of character,
Mhm.
like the best way to proceed forward would probably to go slow,
Yeah.
just to notice everything it's possible. But
Yeah, and you can also spend like more time like fully exploring hex,
mhm.
which ensures that if anything's there, regardless of your passive perception, you succeed at finding it.
Mhm.
But in this case, we're in hilly terrain, and hilly terrain, exploring it at at a slow pace would take 3 days for one hex.
oof.
But like, you know, if you ever don't find anything, that's a good way to make sure you find it, but it's costly.
Mhm.
So you guys start making your way slowly.
Well, let's hold up here. Do we still go at a slow pace?
Well, you know, considering that they have a wizard, I think the slow pace will be good because we can be more prepared if they ambush us.
Mhm. I mean,
Yeah.
Gerp wouldn't suggest any of this. He's not
Yeah.
smart. Like, if you guys suggest anything, I'm like,
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's better to get us to move at a slow pace, just in case we fall into another ambush.
We didn't really fall under an ambush, but
Yeah, I'll move us down.
All right.
Right there.
And that actually covers your first day of exploration. As the sun sets, because it takes about like 3 more hours, or even more than that, because you were in the hills. You were going at a normal pace, right?
Yeah, but then we went slow for it.
Yeah, so it took you 10. It's been 10 hours all in all, you guys are gonna have to make camp for the night. How-
So we don't mark off the camping resources. We just take a ration.
Yeah, take a ration off.
Okay.
Because you guys haven't taken any short rests, unless you don't want to sleep and you want to keep pushing.
We should probably sleep.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, guys, I can see in the dark really well. I think. I totally can.
Let me just check my. Yep. How do you go about setting up camp, actually?
Yeah, well, before we set up camp, I'm just gonna have a look around just to be sure that we're clear and there's not something hiding around us. So would that be a perceptions check?
Yep, that would be perception check. Or if you want to find tracks or anything like wild animals, that would be survival.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a survival.
You find small prints of well, they're probably either wild dog paws or coyotes. Not big enough to be full-fledged wolves, but there are either packs of wild dogs or packs of wild coyotes around.
Okay, so I warned the guys. There's a pack of coyote around. I think that we're gonna need a fire to be lit all night long just to keep them away.
I'm not in agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the fire would give our position to the thieves.
Oh, we're in a hilly terrain, right? Would it be possible that there's like a cave that we could sleep in?
You can sure as hell give me a perception check
I
or
can-
a nature check.
I can possibly do that. Let's see what I can do. Let's see. Let's not do nature and let's do perception. Because I get a -1 to that.
You look around. You don't see any. Like there are, you know, well, like, I won't call them full-fledged valleys, but after like the crest of a hill, that downward slope, and that like the bottom part. I don't remember what the word for it is. At the bottom of like between two hills. Like that's somewhere that you could potentially make camp and light a fire and not necessarily give away your position. But you don't find any like caves per se. There are a few rocky outcroppings here and there, but nothing that stroke your fancy.
I kind of give that knowledge. I'm like, there's that, but any way to make it to where we're not going to get ambushed or anything bad's not going to happen to us. That's what I would like.
I take up my bedroll and place it on the ground where we stand.
I think Gerb has decided that this was the place.
Uh, hmm.
I look questioningly at everyone else.
So I sigh and I get out my tent. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we don't have a lot of options, so
Do we at least have wood? Do we have wood?
There's plenty enough small
Yeah.
trees and dry bushes around to
Okay.
start a fire.
Think we're good.
Like nothing. You guys are gonna have to gather a lot of like dead wood around your position to keep the fire going all night if you want to keep it all night, because there's nothing like big enough that would, you have a few small logs and that's it. So like you're gonna have to keep scrounging around to find more and more wood as the night goes on, unless you want to keep your fire low or let it die overnight.
I think we could keep it low. Like that would be fine. And then
yeah.
if we hear anything, then we can always just throw stuff onto it, so that way we can keep the wolves or coyotes at bay.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with Gwen.
All right. So you guys put up your tents and or sleep outside under the stars.
I don't have a tent.
I have a blanket. That's it. I just have a blanket.
Yeah,
That
I
I
think I
s-
just
Yeah.
I just have a bedroll. Yeah, so I just didn't roll out.
Yeah, same for me. I'm just rolling out the bedroll.
Wait, so Gregor is the only one
So
with a
I'm
tent.
the only one who has a tent. Okay.
How?
And a bedroll.
Let's check how big the tent is.
I think it's a 2-man tent.
Yeah, I don't think it would be like a big thing. Tent, 2-person. Yeah, it's a 2-person tent.
I mean, if you want to share, you can share.
Okay. Who wants to sleep in a tent?
I pull my shield over top of me.
Well,
who's gonna be on guard first?
well, I can do the first round of guard if you want, and I'm
Okay.
gonna keep a close eye on that kobold over there.
I'm very good at seeing in the dark. I can watch something.
I'll
why
take the
don't
second
why
turn.
don't you two do it together? We'll do 2 and 2.
Yeah, fair enough.
I smile happily.
Have fun. And then she just starts walking over towards the tent.
Good night.
All right, so you guys are gonna split your night basically like 6 hours, 6 hours. And while it's a bit longer to rest, at least everybody will be like fully rested and everything. During the first watch, you can hear both Damsir and Gerp. You can hear the owls and the barking of coyotes. Does a coyote bark or howl?
Howl.
They howl, right? Yeah, I wasn't sure like exactly what they did, but
Yeah,
anyway.
they're like a small wolf. They howl.
Yeah, but I thought there was like a word for whatever sound they make. But you can hear the coyotes howl in the distance, and you can hear one just like mid howl, just choke, like.
I want to play dead.
Probably something got to it or whatever. But after that weird noise, you pretty much didn't hear anything for almost all of your watch. And then near the end of your watch, as the fire is slowly dying out, and you keep the embers alive, make sure that it'll be easily reignitable if something happens. I'm gonna ask both of you to roll for perception.
Hmm.
Oh, thank God. Oh yeah.
You're
I
sitting
can see in the dark. That helps.
yeah, I gave you in my mind a +5 to your check,
Okay.
compared to Demsir, but so you're sitting in near silence, and you hear in the distance just the faintest crack of a twig, and then nothing, and then the rustling of grass, and then nothing. And then just this lone pebble that was probably kicked. And then a muffled.
I look at Damsir questionably.
Well, I'm asking you, do you see something?
Do I see anything, or is it I look around?
You look around, and there's all around you, about 60 to 80 feet, depending on the direction. Dark figures crouched in the grass, in the tall grass, in hideable places. But they're creeping towards your camp. There's 6 of them.
And they're all around us, right?
Yeah, they're basically coming at you like they've circled you guys and they're closing in, but in their minds they're pretty stealthy, but you guys rolled pretty high, and you're very much aware of their presence.
I would like to pull out my horn and blow it as loud as I can.
I'm not gonna ask anything for Gregor and Gwen, but on the sound of the horn
Oh God!
and the all six assailants potentially freaking out, we're just gonna go and take a short break, guys.
All right.
And we'll be back in like 5 minutes, I promise. Says I, not clicking on the right thing. See you in a few, guys. And we're back. You guys have the weirdest plans.
So what?
So the horns.
Yeah.
Gregor and Gwen, you both are awakened by this horrendous noise in the middle of the night.
It is not a very good horn. It doesn't sound pretty at all.
It's falsetto horn.
A mouse blows out of it.
Oh.
And
5 gold. That's GURPS.
you hear right after you open your eyes, you just hear the sound of so many crossbows unloading.
Oh, of course.
Damsir and Gerp,
Mm-hmm.
to be fair, they're rolling with disadvantage because they don't really know exactly where you are, so they're just firing blindly a volley type of shot. But we're gonna say 3 attacks on each of you, as
Okay,
you're the
yeah.
only. Or you know what? No, that's not true. Let me
The horse.
let me do that again.
Also,
The
I
mule.
just
Not
want to-
Henry! You monster!
Throw that mule in there.
All right. Yeah, I'll put everyone in there because the tent doesn't really protect against crossbow bolts. So that's 1 on the outside people, 1 on the outside people, 1 on the outside people, 1 on the outside people. Oh, 1 on the inside people,
No.
and 1 on
no.
the inside people. All
I'll
right.
have to work on that tent.
On that what? Oh,
I'll
the
have to
tent?
work on that tent.
So
Make it arrow-proof.
it's actually going to be 2 attacks on instead of 3 on Quentin and Matthew, and 1 attack on Gwen and 1 attack on Gregor.
Okay, I just want to specify that I never remove my call from
Your mental?
GURP. Yeah, my mental from GURP from the last investigation. You know.
Did you guys
So-
always stayed within 15 feet of one another?
Well, he followed me when I went to take my breathe in, breathe out. You know.
It's true.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I don't think I've really.
But
been
that's
that
your
far away from
bond.
it.
That's your bond, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think your bond is next level. Is it?
Well, no, you told me that next level I'm gonna have a passive to my defenses, but right now I can put a bubble around my ally to protect them from to absorb the damage or reflect the damage.
Oh, yes, that one. Okay, yeah, sorry. I'm got confused. All right, so 2d20 with disadvantage. So drop 1. I think that's the same. Yeah, it's gonna drop the lowest, so that's not what I want to do. But I think I have their sheet. Oh yes, I have their sheet. That's awesome.
You can just keep those rolls if you want.
No. I'm just gonna reroll. All right. So, Gerp. 14.
That is a miss.
14.
That is a miss.
Damsir. 9.
That is a miss.
7.
Miss again.
And the blind shots through the tent. Gwen. 21.
Of course it's gonna hit. Oh my god.
Gregor. 8.
Miss.
Wow. So, I'm sorry. Damsir. Not Damsir. Gwen.
Yeah.
But Gwen, you take 2 piercing damage.
The whole scene of this is amazing. Like a horn blows, she's like, "Oh my god!" Arrow. Ah!
Yeah.
Just like hits her on like the side of the leg, and she just stares at it, and she's just like, the
It didn't even
Mother.
embed itself. Like, it didn't even embed itself. It just, like, grazed your thigh, and you're like, really?
why? Why?
And we're gonna go to initiative.
So mechanically, nobody else has dark vision, right? So they would have a very hard time like seeing these guys out there, or are they pretty visible for them with the firelight?
Right now, everybody has disadvantage, but you.
Look, guys.
I don't know why I have a 0.14.
That's
Oh,
because
wow.
we have I put in
It's
the
like the advanced initiative. In case there's a
Okay.
tie, it kind of rolls like a little bit extra to sort them out.
Okay.
I don't know who rolled for the caravan, guys. Right now we're not using your minis, so we're just gonna use this. All right, 18 for Damsier. Gerp, you got an 18 as well, but you're gonna play first. Gwen, you got a 17. Gregor, you got a 22. You guys are on fire.
Yes.
Not normal. I
Uh,
never roll that high.
No, guys. We're the dream team. Right? This is it.
and my friends have
-7 to initiative.
4. Yay.
That
Easy game,
horn was
guys.
effective.
Easy game. Caught him off guard.
Can Henry have a roll? Can he kick them?
Henry would play on your turn.
Okay.
So, start with Gregor. You heard the horn. You heard the crossbow bolts.
So I look outside. Do I see them?
You see vague shapes in the hills surrounding you guys. You're not sure exactly if it's like what you're looking at, if it's a rock or if it's a person. But basically, if like you see stuff, that's for sure. So if you were to attack them, you'd have disadvantage because dwarves don't have dark vision anymore.
Okay, but I tried to at least spot. Well, how far are they apart?
Apart one another,
Yeah.
I'd say the two closest one are 20 feet apart.
20 feet apart?
Yeah.
And I see these shapes vaguely in the dark.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay, so I reach in my bag, and I find some kind of contraption, and I just throw it in the direction of these two guys.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that little powder everywhere that covers them, and they're gonna make dexterity saving throw.
That's your fairy fire.
Fairy fire.
nice.
That's an 8 for the first one, and 14 for the second one.
The other guy has it.
All right, so one of them is just covered in this like glowy, like glow in the dark powder.
Flashlight from above. Just
Everybody can see him. Fine. Which means that negates disadvantage for all of you guys, but it gives Gert advantage. Do you do anything else on your turn, Gregor?
Well, I will get out of the tent because that's an easy target.
All right.
But I won't get close to the kobold and the Gemila. I'll just stay let's say 10 feet apart.
Yeah. Okay.
he gets out the
Just in
broken
case
ruler.
something
He's like,
casts
all
a
right, this
spell
is
on us."
about 10.
Well, I mean, he's a technomancer. He probably has a ruler with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just looted one. It's a little crook,
From
but
the yep. All right.
On my turn, so if I run 25 feet, can I reach any of the bandits?
25 feet. They were about 60 to 80
Okay.
earlier, but I'd say nah. They wouldn't have had time to move. No,
Okay.
they would have time to move before their attacks. You know what? Let's say they did. because they were desperate. So they're now at 30 or 50.
Okay. So I I look at Damsir and I say, "Here we go," and I
Wow. Best war cry.
and I run my 25 feet, and as I'm running, I'm like, as I rage, and then can I throw a javelin since I wouldn't be in like melee range?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Is okay. Blah 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 blah. Let's do it. Do I hit
you
one?
hit.
Yes. So I think this is +2 to the damage because I'm raging. Question mark. Okay.
Because it's
I'll
a
just-
strength-based attack.
Oh,
8.
10.
Oh,
Or wait,
okay. Plus,
is that what? Yeah.
it did 1d6 plus 2, but that's your strength, I think.
Yeah.
So 10 in all.
Yeah.
You throw your javelin at one of the figures. Can you just re-roll to see if you crit? Because you have advantage.
Oh.
Just in case.
Yep.
Yeah, would have been flavorful. But anyway, the person takes the javelin straight to the heart and falls flat on the ground. And like the body rolls downhill. I think they might have to be very afraid. Damsir, it's your turn.
All right. Is there someone in my area that I can go and do close combat?
The closest one is 30 feet away, so you could close the distance. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna run toward this shadow that I see, and I'm gonna do. I'm gonna. Can I also attack after that?
Yep, of course.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna take my eye check and I'm gonna slash at it.
All right.
So I just click on the name of the weapon, right?
Yep, that's it. You hit. What the fuck?
Yes.
And but this
But-
one,
Yeah.
did you run at the one that was glowing?
No, I'm running.
Oh no, because
well,
that one died from a javelin.
Yeah, and also because I have my burning call. If I hit, I do another 1d6.
D6 point of damage. Yeah. So you can in the chat box, if you
Yeah.
click on the word hand axe, it's going to roll your damage automatically.
In the chat box.
Yeah. So in the chat, you see where you rolled your 22.
Yeah.
Right under
Uh,
that, there's the word hand axe.
Okay.
So if you click on that
Oops.
word, damage appears.
Okay,
And then you can just
then-
roll yourself the extra d6, yeah.
Oh wow.
So you spin the hatchet in your hand, it catches on fire, and you attack the person. I mean, you did manage to hit them, like they tried to block your attack with their arm,
Mhm.
and you hear the bandit just scream in pain as like his whole sleeve catches on fire. Gwen, in the distance, there is a lone person on fire, flailing.
Oh, great. That means I can see him.
Yeah, I'd say, sure, why not?
Yay. Well, I mean, I'm gonna get out of the tent first.
Messed
Uh-huh.
up, Simon. You said it was on
Yeah.
fire. You messed up.
I am going to give inspiration to our lovely kobold. So he gets a d6 on his next roll.
Yes.
And,
How am I inspired?
Yep. How do you inspire him?
you just start hearing the snakes whistle again. Like a battle cry whistle.
Oh, okay.
A battle whistle.
Yeah. It's just like a whole bunch of just like really high pitched sounds.
Nice. I
Probably
like
like really painful to coyotes nearby.
it. Good.
Let's see. And then do I want to be that person? Do I want to go ahead and use the gaze already or no? I'm trying to
I
see
mean,
how
that's a
far this-
cool like entry move. You just like, hey, you
Yeah.
woke me up. Arrgh.
And I can see him.
Yes, you can.
Sure, why not? Especially because I don't know exactly how it works, so
So-
now would be a good time to know.
You have to roll a number of hit dice from the hit dice that you have, as if you were taking a short rest, right? So you can choose to roll just one. You can choose to roll them all.
Okay, where's my number of hit die
You're-
at?
It's equal to your level.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so just 2.
Yeah, it would be 2d8 in your case. So you can either roll 2d8 or just roll 1d8. Now, here's how it works. Should you choose to roll, if their current hit points are equal or lower than this number, that creature becomes restrained as your gaze, your petrifying gaze, starts taking a hold of them. At the end of their next turn, they must make a Constitution saving throw. If they fail, they become petrified.
Okay. They have to be within 30 feet of me. or
Yeah,
is
but by
this-
the time you get out of the tent, the guy that's on fire is within 30 feet.
Okay. I'm only gonna do 1d8 because I feel like just in case
Sure.
I need like a short rest.
Mm-hmm.
So a 1d8.
So you
Great.
you turn your snakes onto that person, and you focus your mystical Medusa energy at them, and it's not enough. You just look
Aw.
like an angry Medusa.
Just angry. Very angry.
Yeah, she just like stared, like death stare, gave him the death stare, but nothing happened.
But so inspiring.
Yeah, very inspiring. Alright, I'm done. That's all I can do.
All right, it's my turn now.
Uh-oh.
I get to do stuff. So, your party's pretty split. You've got Gwen and Gregor in the center of the camp, and you've got Damsir and Gerb that both charge in their own direction. So what I'll say is, Damsir, you're gonna have 2 of them on you.
Okay.
The one you attacked, and the one nearby who was like a few feet away, will come charging to help. So that's 2, and 2 of them are going to run into camp, and one of them is going to go on the kobold. So what's going to happen is the guy with the burnt arm says, "Screw it, I'm not dying for this," and he's going to try to stab you, like to see who's going to die first. Since you could see him because of the fire, I'll say he can see you because he's an actual
Yeah.
torch. So he doesn't have disadvantage either. Does a 13 hit?
If it's equal, does it hit?
Yeah, if it's equal, the person that rolled hits.
Yeah, it did.
Alright. You're gonna take a whole lot of 4 points of damage.
No!
And the other one that charged at you, Damsir, is going to try to grab you and lift you off the ground.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask you to roll your choice between athletics or acrobatics. Against a DC of 13. Yeah, you are now grappled.
Alright.
So there's one that came up behind you, and he just like puts you into a chokehold and tries to hold you down like that. You're not on the ground yet. You're not prone. But since you're grappled, you cannot move away from this person.
Okay.
Mr. Kobold, you were still quite a few ways too far from the other one. So the other person, the other bandit, is just going to reload their crossbow and shoot you with it with disadvantage. On a 14, is it enough?
That is a miss.
Yeah, of course.
I got 16.
And the 2 ones that creeped up into camp are both going to try to grapple Gwen and Gregor. Gwen, can you roll athletics or acrobatics and roll higher than a 1?
I mean, that's asking a lot.
I mean, I don't know what your strength or dex score is, but I'm pretty sure one of them has a -1 in it.
You
What
said
did
acrobatics or
in the
what?
camp?
Acrobatics or athletics?
Why does a bandit have
I was gonna
disadvantage
do
while he's in the camp?
acrobatics.
Oh yeah, right. Isn't there light in the camp?
There's light in the camp because there are the embers of your fire.
Mhm.
But she nailed
Well,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Her
I'm
snake
good.
Yeah.
just slapped him
Oh, of
away.
course. And Gregor, same. Ah, shit, that's a 2. Gregor, can you roll higher than a 2?
Well, I have 2.
A 1 is always a fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in this case,
Oh yeah, he nailed it too.
I
He didn't care.
mean, that's just
His beard defends him.
that horn, you guys. That horn just fucked them all up. So basically, what they're trying to do, and you notice it, especially the two of you that are in camp. They're trying to reach out for your throat and slit them to just finish you off as fast as possible.
What are they equipped with, like weapon-wise? We know they have crossbows. We see like rapiers or scimitars or daggers.
Short swords,
Short swords.
like
Okay.
short, like machete-like swords, or I should say gladius-like swords.
Okay.
And you don't know what they have, like if they have armor or anything on them, because they're
Yeah.
they're cloaked. So they do have a cloak that's like dark gray, sort of. From what you well, no, actually, because you have dark vision, so you see them quite well. Yeah, they're cloaked with a dark gray woolen cloak that covers what seems to be some sort of leather jerkin.
Okay.
Or like gambazon or something. Gregor, it's your turn.
So I'll take my gun
Mm-hmm.
and turn one of the knobs on it and use it as a flamethrower. So they're gonna make a dexterity save.
Incredibly cool.
So you're casting Burning Hand.
Yeah.
Alright, dex saving throw. 3, 5. Oh, that's with disadvantage. I'm sorry. Let me re-roll that. They have
Yeah.
4. Jesus Christ. I'm done, you guys. You win.
They take 8
8 points of damage.
fire damage.
Both of them catch on fire. At the sight of this,
Hey guys, now we can see them.
Does he hit the bedroll of the tent?
No, my tent.
let me. Thanks.
Super worried about this.
And now I have to make it fireproof as well.
Let me check. If I roll a 90 or above, it just so happens that like embers fall on the tent. Nah, you guys are fine. But the fire does spook Henry, who, in traditional mule fashion, will just briskly walk a few paces away.
Okay. I have a plan for him, so be ready.
Cool. Because now it's Gerp's turn.
I would like to run over to Damsier with another kobold war cry, because he's grappled, and I wanna hit the guy who's trying to take him away.
All right.
Slit his throat. And that'll give me advantage. All right, my little battle axe. Here we go.
That's a crit.
You also have inspiration.
I don't think he
I
needs
like-
to
Yeah, I
use
don't
it.
think I need to use it.
Just
Yeah.
saying, if you need it.
Yeah. Okay, wait. What are those D10s for? Okay, that was just weird. But it should be it should be 10 points of damage.
Well, it's 10 plus 2 for rage.
Yeah. So you just jump up and scalp the person that was grappling him, like chopping off the top of their skull, and they just fall down.
He's gonna be traumatized.
Yeah, there's blood dripping on me.
Yeah, that's it. Like Dempsey, you just like hear a squirting sound, and then you can feel like warm liquid splash on like the half of your face, and then just like weight being taken off your shoulders.
All right.
Uh,
So,
Dempsey, it's your turn.
so I'm gonna try to finish off at the one in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna swing my axe again.
You hit. Guess what? He's dead. He had 5 hit points left.
Oh.
Well, check 2 to that insanity meter.
Yeah.
Mhm. So you just turn around. What was the weapon? The hand axe you two. Wow, you guys are all fighting with like hatchets. Well, battle axe for the first one, true, but it's a small battle axe. So you take your hand axe and just like hit the guy straight in his collarbone, and just like crush the bones with your hatchet, and you know the combination of the pain, the bloodlust from the broken bone, plus the arm that's on fire, he just passes out from shock. Gwen, it is your turn.
How much on fire are we talking about?
We're talking about. Have you seen that episode of Game of Thrones
Maybe.
with the dragon and the army?
So, like, completely on fire?
He's-
Like, if I attempt to try to touch him, I will burn myself on fire?
No, because the fire it doesn't last long. It's magical fire.
Okay.
So like the fire lasts for like 1 or 2 seconds, but it's enough to just burn, and then like there's still like bits of clothes that are on fire, but like you could grab them if you wanted to.
Okay. So, you said Henry, like, kind of walked away a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna pull out my dagger, because, like, I know that this guy just tried to slice my throat.
Mhm.
I'm not happy about it. So I'm gonna tell Henry, I'm gonna like go like this on my chest and tell him to come to me, because I want to scare the guy towards me so I can stab him in the back of the neck.
All right, make
That's a lot of things.
an animal handling check.
Okay, I actually have a +1 on that, so
Nice.
Henry, do you love me?
Henry fights off its natural instincts to run away, and instead runs towards the person that's on fire. And as Henry is like coming to potentially trample these guys, the one that's in front of you turns around, and you know how like in movies when like he would turn around and just be like straight in your arms at that moment, like, or on your dagger, as it were. You can roll with advantage.
Okay. Actually, is that gonna work? So if I just click on the dagger, it works?
There should be a prompt at the top of your sheet for like advantage, disadvantage, normal.
Okay.
So you can click advantage and then click on the dagger, and it'll roll for dagger.
Okay. Where did it go? There it is.
Good thing. And roll for damage.
Okay, that's 1d.
Oh, you can just click on the word dagger
Oh, that's
in
what
the
I
chat
did.
box. In the chat box.
Oh,
So like
okay.
under your 23.
Oh, there we go. 1. Wow.
Oof.
Just 1.
So he turns around, and you, in your mind, everything would have gone perfectly, but you weren't quite ready when Henry came running, and so the dagger, instead of being at throat level, was just slightly off, and you just like poked them on like a piece of bone, and you nicked them basically and slit like part of the neck, but not deep enough to cause, you know, you cause damage anyway, but not enough to kill them in an instant.
I can never remember what the crit was for a dagger.
It's
Is it 20 or is it 19 to 20?
well, give me a second. Your dagger doesn't work, and it's only 20. In 5th edition, everything is 20.
Okay.
But your dagger doesn't work, so let me just go into your character sheet for a second, Gwen.
There's
'Cause I probably put it in there wrong.
Yeah.
there's a feat you can get that it's either like 19 or 20 air crits.
Okay.
It's no, it's when you're a fighter.
Oh, maybe that's it.
Fighter, a champion, the archetype.
Just got to spec into that.
You can use your dex with the dagger.
Yeah, that's what I'm changing on the sheet because you didn't have your whole things put in.
Oh, okay.
So that should now work. Where is Dagger? Dagger, you are here. No, wait. I was in Charm Person, idiot. Dagger. There you go.
But I think the only thing I forgot to do was put the +2 on it.
It's actually right type and damage. You checked the wrong box basically, but that's okay.
Ah,
That's
okay.
not a problem. There you go. It's fixed. And then 1d4 plus 2. Yep, that works now. So it's okay. We can take either your 1 plus 2, or we can take the 6 plus 2 that I just rolled, because one way or another, in the end, that person had 3 hit points left.
Yeah.
So let's just rewind time. You didn't nick him on the side of the neck. You actually got him straight into the windpipe.
Yay.
And just so the bandit turned around, trying to flee, and just went straight for the dagger. And he's just frozen in an expression of fear, looking at you, going like...
And she just like pulls it out and just kicks him into the fire.
Should we try to capture one of these guys?
Well, do you know what the last guy on fire does?
You better not.
He pleads for mercy.
He fucking runs away.
Mm-mm.
And the other
Henry,
guy with the
what?
crossbow from like far away, he also runs away.
Not Gerp's house.
So Gerp,
Or Gregor's next.
yeah, Gregor, sorry. So the guy with the crossbow who was, well, he had come forward a bit, so he would be at, he's now back at 80 feet away from you. And on the other side, because the other guy on fire had to disengage, not to get attacked by both of you guys, so there's one at 30 feet on fire, almost dead. And then there's another one running away into the night. That's 80 feet away from you guys.
80 feet.
Yeah.
Well, I can't attack him without killing him.
No, not with a ranged weapon.
Just run up to him and pistol whip him.
No, but okay. What I'll do is
Dude, use Henry
I'll-
to your advantage if you'd want to. Go for it.
I will move toward the guy that's running to the night,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll take out of my bag a little satchel of seeds, and I just throw it
Okay.
toward the guy. So he's gonna make a dexterity saving throw for anything.
Entangle?
Yeah.
I thought Entangle was strength.
Yeah, maybe. Give me a moment. It's been a while
Right.
since I've guessed.
Yeah, I got it here. Entangle is a strength saving throw. Yep.
Oh, okay.
So sorry about that. Rolling strength.
Yeah, no, it's my bad.
Well, 14.
Yeah, he guessed it.
So I think he has. It treats the area around.
As
20 feet
difficult
to a difficult
terrain,
terrain
right?
anyway. Or be restrained. Frees itself. The control. Yeah, it turns it so for 1 minute, one way or another, it becomes difficult terrain. So
So
he's gonna have technically like another 20 feet to go in difficult terrain before he's free of the entanglement. But still, that was your turn. Now it's Gerp's turn.
Is the crossbow guy or the guy getting entangled closer?
Entangled guy is closer.
All right, I'll just charge that guy.
All right. Because the entangle spell is up.
Mhm.
There's 20 feet of difficult terrain.
Yeah, I figured I wouldn't reach him.
Yeah,
I'm
unless you
trying
have another javelin.
I do, but narratively, I'm just gonna keep my battle axe out, and my shield. And
Okay.
I'm gonna try to hack him up.
So you're just turning around and charging at him. With 50 feet, that's 40. That's so you basically get like into the entangle zone, but can't get to that person as your tiny cobalt legs are being grasped at by these like twisting vines and everything, and you're actually gonna have to roll a strength saving throw.
Ooh. I am not very good at these.
You can use your inspiration.
Mm-hmm. I think you don't have advantage on that though. I think
1d6. Nope, that was an F.
so. 12.
You fail.
Oh, I fail again. The first one I did slash roll 1 F6.
Oh, doesn't matter.
I got
It's a
12,
1
yeah.
anyway. Sorry. So not only do you have trouble with your tiny cobalt legs to go through, but at some point, as you're like getting close to the guy, the vines are just they prove themselves too strong and they grasp at your tail and then at your ankles and they just hold you back, like a bully holding a tiny nerd at bay, with their arm.
I scream.
Damsier,
Okay.
you're up.
If I try to run at the guy running, am I able to reach him even though there's a hard terrain?
There's 40 feet of difficult terrain. Technically, it's 40 feet.
Okay.
So like none of you can reach him in one turn. But that also means that he can't run away in one turn either.
Well, since I heard Gerd suggesting that we need someone alive, I start running. While I still have the adrenaline and not focusing on the dead body, I start running at him. So, how close am I to him right now?
Well, you're gonna have to make a strength saving
Yeah.
throw.
Strength. Ew.
These vines are kicking our butt.
Yeah.
Yep. Guess what, you guys? You're both stuck in the grass.
Sorry.
Gwen. Which
So
is
the
hilarious
guy-
because the bandit succeeded. So
So
Gwen.
the guy that was in the camp that is running away, he's now stuck in vines, correct?
Yeah, well, he's gonna have a hard time getting out of it. If he takes his full turn, like to walk and then dash, he's still only gonna basically clear out the entangle and then 20 feet. He'll be like 40 feet away further, which would
Is
be
he-
70 from you.
Is he within 30 feet right now?
Right now, yes, he can. If you just move closer to him, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna move closer to him and then I'm going to do Charm Person on him.
So you're gonna tail a passage of, or is it what did you choose? Storyteller or is it songs in your case?
I'm gonna do songs. I mean, I'm whistling, and I mean, I'm
You're-
already apparently a very musical person, but I've got some stories.
So you're whistling the ballad of Lovey McLoveface.
yes, I am.
All right. And I have to make a
You need to make
with advantage
fail,
because you
fail,
guys
fail.
wisdom saving throw.
with advantage because you guys are wailing on that poor person.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it's true.
Is an 18.
He probably beat it.
Yeah, your save would be 10 plus your charisma modifier. So unless you have a 30 charisma score.
Yeah, no.
So no, he just you're like you're whistling your jaunty little tune, and the other guy like you almost catch him whistling back, and then he just shakes his head and keeps trying to escape.
Can I tell Henry to like start like going towards this person?
Sure, Henry can just charge, and Henry's gonna have to roll a strength saving throw. So just roll a d20 plus 2.
Okay. Oh, wait, wrong thing. I have too many things open. Ah! 20 plus 2.
Oh yeah. So
Henry's fine.
Gerp, and Damsier, while you're stuck in the entangle zone, there's just this random mule that comes running by you both, not caring one
just rotting.
second about what's going on. Though it's still difficult terrain, so it's having a hard time catching up, but it got closer to both of you. The bandit uses his whole turn to keep running. Which means that the bandit is now 40 feet away from Damsier and Gerp. And let's say 60 feet from both Gwen and Gregor. The other guy with the crossbow, you guys have no idea where that person went. For now, anyway. It's now back to Gregor.
Okay. So I'm pretty far away from that guy.
60 feet.
60 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. So, am I seeing him well, or if I try to hit him, I'll be at disadvantage?
There's still disadvantage. The only person, now that he's farther away from the campfire, the only person that can see him properly is Gerp.
Okay, I'll try to shot in the dark. My gun, I fire a firebolt.
Yeah, just kill this guy.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna get away.
Roll with disadvantage. Nah. You just fire a shot in the night, and it goes wide, misses him by at least a foot.
It's Henry.
But I'll make my move 30 feet.
All right, you keep going 30 feet. Do you drop the entanglement?
Yes.
All right. Gerp,
thank
you
God.
are no longer entangled.
Oh, the tables have turned. So I can't get to him. I guess I'll just, double move up to him. So I guess he'll have to disengage when.
Yep, you can actually double move up to in front of him if you want.
Yeah, that's what I do. Just stand in front of him with my battle axe, my shield. I'm not raging anymore, but I'm just like,
All right.
I
Demsier,
growl menacingly.
So
Oh,
one
he's still-
move-
pretty much scared to death of all of you.
So
Good.
how far can I run on just one turn? Is it 30 feet?
It's 30, and then you can use another action to dash, which ends your turn, but you do another 30 feet,
Okay. So that
which
means
is
it'd
what you
still
had to
be-
do last time. Right now, he's 40 feet away from
Yeah.
you, so you could do a bit like Gerp did, and or you can try to flank him, sandwich him between you and Gerp.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
All right. Gwen.
So how I'm 60 feet, right?
Yeah, from him.
Okay, so I'm gonna move my 30. I'm gonna I'm telling Henry to kind of move in front of him to try to block him off.
Henry might be able to attack him.
Yeah, but Henry isn't an attack mule.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean he can buck, but that wouldn't be a lot. He's an older mule, okay? He's seen some shit.
No, but the thing is now this bandit is caught in a crossfire between Gerp, Damsier, and a mule.
Yeah. But he's within 30 feet, so I'm gonna try to charm him again.
Unfortunately, Bard, you can only target one person per short rest.
Dang
So
it.
since you tried on this one, because now your spells are at will, with the stories, you can do them as many times as you want, but you can try only once per person per short rest.
Okay. What if can I try a different kind of spell then?
Sure. What other spells do you have?
I can do Bane.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes, you can Bane.
Poor guy.
Yeah. He must make a charisma saving throw.
Natural 20.
Well,
He's a
yeah.
stud.
Kind of.
He's just so scared that nothing can stop him.
So much so that once he's surrounded, he actually drops to his knees, lifts his arms up, and says, "Please, please don't kill me. I swear we're just doing it to survive. You would have done the same. Please, please." And that's his turn. If you want, I can lift the initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the
Yeah.
crossbow guy's not coming back, I think we can.
Mhm.
Oh no, crossbow guy is not coming back.
Sorry.
As he surrendered, I say,
I just wanted to challenge you to Dragon Chess. I don't have a board though.
All fear fades from his face, and he's like, "What? I don't know how to play. Why?"
I look at Danzier.
I just, since everything's happening, I just break down and fall on the ground, starting to trembling and puking.
This poor guy is like scared to death of you guys. One of them challenges him to chess, the other one breaks down crying, and the other one just goes like, "Ah." As Gwen and Gregor, you approach this trembling figure of a poor, dirt-covered bandit.
I'm explaining the rules of dragon chess to him.
Gwen just like points her dagger and like kind of puts it like in his nose, but not really. Like it's like on the tip of his nose.
Mhm.
Just like holds it there. She goes, "Are you the one that shot me?"
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's roll a d6, and on a 1, it was actually him.
Oh god. This guy can tell us where they're at.
He's like, no, it's the other guy that ran away.
Crossbow guy.
Crossbow guy.
Crossbow guy.
His name will live on in legend. He comes in the night and shoots wildly with a crossbow, then leaves. Crossbow guy.
Guy's a jerk.
She just like kicks him down.
He
Like
falls.
puts her foot on his chest. And she like still holding her dagger like to his face, and she's just like, "Where are the rest?"
If I tell you guys, they're gonna kill me. You have to promise that I can leave. You have to promise me I can
Where
leave.
would you go?
Anywhere. Anywhere but here.
You said you want to survive, right?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of, being a bandit and trying to kill people, why don't you help a community instead of taking from them?
Yeah, you can be a slave.
Not that.
Oh.
Not that one.
The hell's you're talking about? You just murdered all my friends.
Because you attacked us first, you numbnuts.
How old is this guy? Is like
He
middle
looks
age?
to be like maybe 17.
We can convince this guy.
How many innocent people have you killed?
I try. I don't know. 20.
Wow.
They weren't all innocents. Like most of them tried to fight me off, but like we have to do what we have to do, you know.
Like you just fought with us?
I mean,
Would
he
you have
was
done
just
the
trying
same
to-
if you knew I had food?
I would.
See, he gets me. Please, just let me go. Let me leave. I'll take my stuff. I'll take the road west. You'll never see me again.
Well, there must be a place where you store your food.
Yeah, we need to know where you're at. Where's Crossbow Guy?
I can tell you, but only if you guys roll high enough on a persuade or intimidation check.
I'm literally stepping on him.
So I
Yeah,
think
Could I
we're gonna have to go
give
with intimidate.
Gwen
I can start having my snakes like bend down to him, have my snakes like go to him, and the venom is starting to like drip onto his shirt.
You can roll intimidation with advantage, with like major advantage.
Yeah. I'll just help Gwen.
Sure
Or like-
thing. He says, "It's a few ways south. It's this old Velish fort. Is the top of a hill. Far away. We tend to raid couple days away from the camp to make sure. The boss got a bit greedy and sent out more than one patrol this time, but we didn't have our sorcerer with us. So it's all complicated, but I swear we don't have anything with us. Like, we didn't kill anyone recently. We're just trying to waste time, and we saw your fire, and we thought we could get something and not get hang. But
Didn't
keep
kill anybody recently. Like the caravan.
How many people are in your camp? And do they play Dragon Chess?
maybe some of the. What's up with Dragon Chess?
I don't know.
I'm the best at it, and I need to prove to everyone that I'm the best at it. I don't have a board, though.
I don't. The character isn't laughing, but the DM is. He says, "Look, if you keep going, maybe about DM needs his note. About a day south. You can't miss it. It's
Oh, do you guys have lots of treasure?
yeah. We tend we tend to stockpile food, and well, we have this. Shit. Can you get the dagger off of me, please? I swear I'll tell you everything. Everything.
And she just kind of like lets like one of her snakes just like lick her dagger, so that way there's poison on it in case this guy isn't telling the truth. And she takes it away for just a second and just stares at him, and she goes, "I can turn you to stone if you lie to me. Don't try."
While all this intimidation is happening, I'm just gonna crawl to my bedroll.
So sorry.
He's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
How many people are there? Like 1, 2, 3, 4,
The fuck, a kobold that knows how to count?
5.
No, he's smarter than you think.
There's 8 permanent at the camp. And then there's about a dozen of us that patrol around. Well-
How many is that?
He looks back to like your camp and he's like, well, used to be a dozen. If nothing happened to the rest. And he starts like to slowly get back up and to douse some of the like tiny flames that are still lighting his cloak up, and says, there's so many more things than just us in the hills. We had to get stuff before the goblins did.
Goblins.
Oh, goblins and stuff in the forest and everything. We can't go anywhere. The trading post is the only thing that could sustain us. And with the winter and the plague and most of the guys that died, it's just...
So why are you staying there?
Because if we try to leave, we're gonna get killed in the hills anyway. There's no point in leaving, but I'd rather try to chance it and leave than, going back empty-handed and then getting hanged.
Empty your pockets.
And he just takes, in the blink of an eye, undoes a small purse and tosses it on the ground. And he's like, that's all I have.
I dive on it. I rip the back open.
Inside
Just
the
go to the
bag.
trading post. And she's just like looking at him like, how stupid can you be? Go to the trading post.
They're...
Help them build.
Yeah, follow the road and go to the trading post.
But they're gonna
Ooh,
arrest me. That big-ass Minotaur.
well,
He's
he
gonna-
doesn't know you.
Yeah. Like he's gonna remember your face.
This guy killed 20 innocent people. I don't care.
Pretty sure most of the people he sees get killed in the hills. So
He just assumes that everybody's there to take his food, but he'll share as long as you give him something. Like I gave him soap.
Soap's really
Like, do
bad.
you want a note of endorsement? I can give you that.
Yeah, sure. You know how to write?
No.
She just looks at him like so offended. And she's just like, you disgust me. And she's like, you don't get an endorsement. You just insulted me.
I don't know. I've never been taught how to write. I just assumed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I swear. I didn't mean anything. Yes, please write a note. I'll get to the trading post. I'll help with. I don't know.
Like, if I hear
I'll sign
at
anything.
any point when you're there that you try to steal from this trading post, I will find you and you will die.
Yeah, I know that.
There's-
And he looks at all of you and he's like, yeah, I can't thank you enough.
She just
And-
like hands her dagger off to like the nearest person. But whoever's the nearest person that isn't on the ground with a bag.
Probably Gregor.
yeah, that's probably me.
She hands it to Gregor and she's just like, hold this please, and she just goes to the tent and goes and gets her paper and her ink and her quill.
The guy during all that time he is still shaking.
What was in his
And
pouch?
I'm holding a dagger.
The pouch has 14 copper pieces and 1 silver piece. Not a whole lot of things.
Yeah. I scoop him up and I go to Damsier
Mm-hmm.
and I say,
Can you count these out for me?
As I'm laying down on my bed, right? Yeah, sure. And I start cutting them down on the ground.
It takes you like a good 5 minutes because you break down in between and you're like, but you know, a small part of you, you know, might be thankful for the distraction.
Mm,
But I'm not Debsier, so I don't know.
yeah.
But there's 14 copper and 1 silver. So the guy is left alone with Gregor in the distance, a couple of feet away from the camp. And Gregor, you can see him looking at you, looking at the camp, and looking back at the darkness. And I want you to give me an insight check, please.
our prisoner's gonna get shot.
Oops. No, that's disadvantage. Well, that's still the first.
Yeah, that would still be the first one. He's freaked out. That's all you can get from him. He's just so freaked out that, you know, anything could probably make him faint from pure dread.
I am my horn.
You're in the tent right now, though.
I know.
Like 2 feet away from Dempsey. You can blow your horn if you want, and the poor traumatized guy.
Will
Yeah.
die of a heart attack.
No, I don't know when this is going on. Keep
All
going.
right. So Gwen comes back with the paper, hands it out to the bandit / kid, and he takes it, and like you can clearly see he's holding it upside down, and he's like, "Okay, all right, that's gonna. You sure he's not gonna kill me with this?" And he crumbles it in his hand.
You can just see the pain in her face. And she's just like, can't guarantee it, but it's better than nothing.
All right. He picks up his short sword from the ground and he sheaths it. And he's like, I'm leaving for the trading post. I'll see you there.
She like, points in the direction for him to go.
He was
Yes.
not going in that direction.
Yeah.
He's like, thanks. Goodbye.
Mhm.
And
Probably
he
gonna die on the way.
takes off
I know.
running into the night.
I'm giving you your dagger back.
Thank you. Just kind of like wrings it out to get the venom off of it.
Oh, the venom dried off already.
Okay.
It's the venom's not good when it comes in contact with air,
Yeah.
so it doesn't take long for it to just dry, or it becomes like sticky and not really potent enough to hurt anymore.
Mm.
As Damsier's sorting out the coins and
Yeah.
shaking, I suddenly get a thought, an idea, and I spring up and I say, "The other bodies!" And I run off into the night and like search the other guys.
Oof, that is not the word I heard.
Oh,
You you search the other ones, and I'll assume that like all of you take the time to search and everything. But Gert,
No, I'm staying on the ground, just in fetus
All right.
position.
I'll stay with him so that way he has some company.
sure thing. Gerp, you're going to find. So that's. So 1, 2, 3, okay. 37, 38, 46. 46 copper pieces in all. And 8 silver pieces. Amidst their belonging, most of their armor is unusable. It's just scraps of armor, very shoddily strung together from like pieces of older armor. And you notice, though, well, all of you guys notice as you're looting these bandits, that most of these armor pieces like have some sort of common like thread or element to them. So they probably all came from the same like uniformed stock and were then either cut or like re-sewed into other pieces as time went on. So they're not just like second hand, they're like fourth hand type of clothes. You are able to get 2 functioning crossbows, 12 bolts, and 4 short swords out of all of that. You can split it any way you want.
Put it in the chest.
Put it all in the chest.
Mhm.
yeah, we'll throw it in the chest. We can sort it out later. I'm just writing it down.
All right. So, with this, the game is coming to a close. So you guys are, you now know more or less where the camp might be. And so if you look on the map, at the bottom of the map, I've put in these little pins, like in the white section.
Yeah.
You guys should all have control over them, and you can move them to wherever you want, and then use that as a reminder or like a flag in Minesweeper as to where you might want to go next time, or if you want to leave like clues for the other groups or whatever.
But can we leave a note on it?
If you double click on it, I think you should be able to type in a name.
Yep.
All right, if you type a name, you can click show nameplate, and that's gonna leave like a.
Now, I'm just saying, everybody's going to be able to see this map, and some other jerk groups might take our bandit camp. All our hard
Yeah.
work.
There's that.
You always just label it something else. You could just like label it and just call it Death Trap.
17 dragons.
17 dragons, 3 days out of the starting area.
Hey, we made it back, so what a tale that'll be.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I think mislabeling it might be a good idea. I don't know if we'll all be able to adventure again together, though, to like clear it out or not. So
Well,
it's hard to say.
Yeah, it depends on when. So basically, I know that some of you are actually playing tomorrow again. If you want to take your new group down to the bandit camp and clear it with the other group, that's fine by me. If you want to go into another direction, you guys have had like a few clues about things that are happening in the immediate region with the goblins and the bandits apparently stockpiling stuff and whatever. So there's that you can explore. There's still the job board with other jobs on it. There's an immense world to explore. And so maybe the things that this group wanted to do, the other groups might not want to. They might have other ideas. It's all up to you. But the thing is the things that you discover, or some of the things that you might discover, can actually lead to the growth of the trading post, which then leads to more rewards for everybody involved.
Nice.
And I'll be a nice DM, and I'll also inform you that there was a post on the job board about bounties for bandits. Do you remember that?
So we take their teeth and prove that we killed them.
I mean, that's why I wrote the note.
What did you write on the note?
This kid is a pissy bandit. If he does anything stupid,
He's
kill
dead.
him.
He's so
Also,
dead.
Yeah.
He's a bandit.
So dead.
All
If
right.
he makes it back, he's so
It
dead.
goes with my flaw. Nothing gets in the way of my mission.
One-eyed Max is gonna fucking horn this guy when he shows up.
But
So
I also signed my name at the bottom of the crumbled piece of paper, so he knows that it's my bounty that I brought in.
it's actually not teeth, but scalps.
Mm.
So you can bring it back tonight if you want to. 1, 2, 3, 4 bandit scalps.
We should have scalped the people who were in the dirt too.
Put a pin in
Darn
it. Put a pin in it.
Yeah.
Next time. So you guys go back to the camp. I'll move the caravan back to the trading post, or I'll put it there for tomorrow. For the scalps, you get 4 gold pieces
Wow.
to split amongst all of you. When you go back to the starving bowl, there is an iron cage outside with the pissy bandit in it, and
I wave.
he's rotting in it. He looks sad and angry and disappointed. But waiting for you, Gwen, inside the inn, Maxwell says, "The Republic of Atmore thanks you for your service." And he flings a purse with 10 gold pieces inside.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the bounty for living bandits. And then he gives you guys the 1 gold piece per scalp. Hope you had fun. Did you bring any food?
No.
And she just kind of like tosses like 2 of her rations that she got from the caravan.
It's no
at him.
good.
She's like, that's literally it.
Then keep it.
Cool.
I want the fresh stuff.
We have a
did
lead.
find 17 dragons.
Found 17 dragons, have you?
At least 17 dragons.
Well, if you should slay them, I would buy their scales at a very high price. I'm in the market for a good dragon scale armor. That looked nice on me.
Me too.
You're made of scales.
But the dragon scales are cool.
I'm sure if you slay 17 of them, we can share. Right?
Maybe, I suppose.
All right.
She kind of just like pushes Stirp away. away.
Now
And
you
she-
guys have freeloaded on my inn for long enough. You're gonna have to
Hello.
pay for your rooms now.
Gave you a living bandit.
Yep, and still it's gonna cost you 1 gold piece to make it to the next game.
I hand him the gold piece he gave me back.
Yeah, same for me.
So the price of the room is 1 bandit scalp per day.
It's not per day, so it's like an abstract thing where up until the next time you guys play, that covers like your expenses. Because there's no like lifestyle adjustment in the shithole that this trading post is in. Maybe eventually, if something happens. But that was the first episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's like a weird take on a West March game, but did you have fun?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
got to threaten somebody and step on them. This is a great campaign.
It's a great start when, nobody rolls more than a 10 on anything except
Yeah.
charisma saving throw.
I set 2 people on fire. That's a success.
Yes, and Damsir cried only twice.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, let's just go around, tell everyone who you are, where we can find you, what you do in life. And we'll start with, I'll do the same thing as I did earlier. So we'll start with Emily.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Emily. You can find me on Twitter at _HatterHair. I'm in this campaign. I'm also in a Star Wars campaign every other Tuesday as Captain Zeta, who is becoming the mother of the ship. I've
Oh,
adopted a redheaded stepchild.
yeah, I forgot to say that. The bandit is redheaded.
Oh, of course he
Guess
is.
what his name is?
Oh my god, don't make it the same name.
Yeah, it is. It's Danny.
Oh my
Danny the
God.
bandit.
Dang it, Danny.
Oh,
It's his twin.
It's like Danny from an alternate
Danny.
universe where he isn't, like, he's not a stormtrooper.
Yeah, most time I treated him like shit.
Yup.
But yeah, I think those are the only 2 that I'm in right now, at least like online.
There's runners.
Yeah, but we haven't done that in a while.
We just skipped 1 game.
I thought we skipped 2. I'm pretty sure we've skipped 2.
But anyway, it's on Deer Television's channel,
Yeah.
not this one. Just if people are interested.
Yeah.
Moving on to Mr. Quentin.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Quentin. I played Gerp the Kobold Barbarian. I had a lot of fun. I hope I can play a lot more of this. Everyone else, you guys did great. Simon, thank you for inviting me. Let me see. I got everybody else's names here. Gwen, thank you. You played a very mean Medusa. Damsir, my goodness, I hope you recover from that. Gregor, your class seems super cool, and I'm super interested to see more of that. You guys can follow me on Twitter if you want. I generally just retweet and like a bunch of other D&D stuff. So it's @Thragon. That's generally the name that I use for like all my games and stuff. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. Thanks for inviting me.
Thanks for playing. Had a lot of fun with your kobold. I wonder if you're gonna keep up the voice for like the many games to come.
I'll try. If he survives, I'll keep doing it. I'll try, even if it hurts.
Cool. And Matthew.
So my name is Matthew. I play Damsin, the Jamila, the one with AVPTSD when he kills someone. You can find me on Twitter at French Overlord and also on YouTube at French Overlord, where I do playthroughs or video.
Put it in chat.
Yeah.
Since we don't have it on the overlay for tonight. And Jan.
Hi, I'm Yana. I played Gregor the Technomancer. I don't have a Twitter or anything like that, so good luck finding me. When I'm not playing, I'm working on Age of Arcana with Simon.
Yeah. And well, I'm Simon at Wondering the M. This is my channel. You found me. You found the thing. If you were watching up until this point anyway, like Emily said earlier, we also do a Star Wars Darkest Timeline campaign called Points of Light on Tuesdays, bi-weekly. The next game is actually this coming Tuesday, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, cool. It's on Tuesday, July 10th at 8 p.m. EST. And on the Wednesdays of that same week, I have a Zweihander campaign, which is a dark and gritty, grim dark medieval fantasy game. Also from 8 to 11 ish, and there's this one, Age of Arcana, and we're also going to be back tomorrow actually because Age of Arcana is on. It's going to be 2 days a week. This is surprisingly the only Friday in July, because I have a prior engagement the other Fridays, but we'll play every Saturday in July, and then come August, we're going to be live every Friday at 8 p.m. EST, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. from 10 to 2 p.m. on Saturdays. So if you want to keep track of all the wacky characters that are going to strike out and try to survive the Wildlands, well, this is the place. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really had a lot of fun. Thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you tomorrow morning after I get much needed sleep. Ciao everyone.